Hello everyone and welcome back to the part third of this new tutorial series on how to build an AI agent with the help of a LangChain and a Ollama, where we are running our large language model locally. So we don't have to worry about getting any subscription or API keys to connect with the any large language model. If you haven't, watched my part one and part two, and if you want to continue with this, I would highly recommend you to watch part one and part two so that you can understand because I'm gonna use the existing code to build a new AI agent with new tools in this particular part. So in previous part, we have just these two methods basically, which we are calling as a tool. And we understand in Python, we can write any logic. Inside these methods, we can any API endpoint, we can make database connection. We can do all sort of things which we can think of to build any kind of logic, right? And we have to just decorate with this tool. What it does is under the hood, it actually converts this method into the JSON object, which gets as a context whenever we interact with the LLM for any user request. Right? So we have already understood all these kind of stuff. In the previous part, we were only having this hard-coded values. So in this video, what we're going to do is we are going to create an AI agent, which is going to continuously listening for the user request, and it will have a memory component as well, which we will be keeping very fundamental. We are not going to use any vector database or any other database to store the conversation. In this, we are just going to use a basic concept of Python list to just preserve all the conversation history which we're going to use to interact with this AI agent. Okay, so let's quickly okay, so now what we're gonna do, okay, so tools and memory, as I mentioned, now we're gonna have a little bit of more interesting tools. Calculator we're gonna keep get current time as well, right? So let's copy the same import which we have done in the previous part, right? The same import statement, chat Ollama tool and the system message, human message and tool messages. Most of the stuff is gonna be same, pretty much same, right? So we have tools, right? These tools decorated with the tools so that it can easily bind with our LLM object. So we have created an LLM object here. The new concept is temperature zero. What it does, it says to LLM, whatever the maximum probability for the next token that has to be considered. If we increase this value, then the creativity, meaning you will have more non-deterministic response, right? So if you want to keep a deterministic, response, then you should use the temperature as a zero so that it will always return the most probable token, right? And then we have to change this because we are not using LLama, we are using 23.5 9 billion parameters, right? Then we have this bind tools. So we have two tools in this. We have calculator. Now we have get current time in place of a get word length, right? The next thing is we have a memory, right? Here we have a major difference, right? So what difference we have? Let's quickly view. Here, if you remember in a previous part, we were having a system message as well as a human message, two lists in this message list. But now we have only system message where we are just setting up the persona of LLM. What we are saying, you are a helpful assistant, use tools when needed, right? So this is my system message. And now we have this method, which is actually being used in a next logic, which we're gonna write. So let's quickly understand what we are doing in this method. So whatever the message list we have, we are appending a human message and we are accepting user input as a parameter, and then we are feeding that into the human message, and that message is actually being appended to the message. So what's gonna happen? Whenever there would be a next conversation, it is always gonna be appended. And same thing if you see here, for every response, for every user input, we're gonna get a response, and that is also getting appended over here, right? Just to give a little bit of noise. Okay. Cool. So now we are just iterating through 10 times. The very first thing, LLM with tools. So here we have this LLM with tools where we have bind the tools with the LLM object. right? And then we are just feeding the messages. So if you just see, we are passing a list. So this list is gonna have the entire history of the conversation, and we can just quickly see that as well in action. Rest of the logic is same. It will just check whether there is any tool calls list is not. If every tools has been executed, then there are the unique ID, right, which we can utilize to just see. This is the ID. If you just see, this is the tool calls, right? And here we have this JSON object where we have a method name, arguments which are being passed, and then this ID. This ID is actually and the type is tool, right? We can understand all these kind of stuff, right? Then we have this tool calls, right? Tool by name. Then we are appending a tool messages, whatever the response we are. Okay, cool. Now we haven't have any user message hard coded, so we have to write that logic so that we can run this loop, right? So we want to keep this AI agent running forever, right? So what we are doing for that, we are using this while loop, which will provide us the infinite loop. Then we are accepting. So input is a keyword through which we can get all the terminal, whatever user is going to type on a terminal, we can accept that in a user input. And then we are just, checking whether they are typing quit, meaning user wants to just come out, or we want to just break the execution or terminate the execution. And then we're gonna see what exactly happening here. If you just see, once we accept user input, if it is not quit, then only it is going to call this AI agent. Since it's an infinite loop, it's keep running forever until or unless someone writes a quit or just do the keyboard based cancel. Okay, so user input is being passed to this method, then this method will be called, and this input is going to be stored in a message list, which is going to be worked as a memory for us. And this can be saved in vector database, this can be saved in a register database, this can be saved in some key value storage like ROXDB, or it could be Redis, or whatever you wanted to do it. But right now we are not doing that because it's completely depends upon for what use case you are building your AI agent. Since it's a very simple one, so let's quickly run this. Okay, so now what we need to do is we can quickly ask really simple question, right? So we can ask something like what is 123 multiplied by 456, and also what time is it? Let's quickly run this, right? So in the first question, we have two activity in this task. It should use calculator plus the second method, which will provide us the current time, right? So now it's saying, oh, it seems like I just made a mistake. Oh, here it seems that input is string. So there are two ways we can do this. We can simply say, hey, right? So let's figure this out. Okay, we can ask the same question, and probably this time it should work. Now we can see the memory utilization is more than 90% for the GPU. So utilization is 2%. It means that is done. Can we attend this issue? Let's quickly just for the simple side, we can say, oh man, user input should not be user input. Should be something like done. If you want, or the safest thing should be don't pass anything, right? Let's see. Not here. Oh, sorry, I just made a mistake. Um, this is failing for this current thing, I guess. Yes, sorry, my mistake. So what we need to do here is this, we have to put W variable, and we have to initialize this with equal to P, or we can completely remove that. But let's see if it works. Issues. This time it should work. Looks great. 61%, 55%, 90% utilization. Pretty cool. Okay, so now we can see first it just provide the calculated value, and then this is the current time, right? So it seems like it is working fine. Now what we can do is, let's see if we want to add a new method, right? So this method is very, very straightforward, right? Let's quickly do that. and see how easy it's gonna be. So what we want to read a file, but see here we have docstring. One important aspect which I just forgot to mention in my previous video, docstring is very, very important because when we bind this tool, LLM heavily rely on this docstring. So this docstring has to be very, very accurate. As much as possible, you have to be very, very careful when you are writing a docstring and provide as much as information about your method so that it will help large language model to easily recognize that. So what we are doing here is we are simply opening a file and just reading that file, right? And returning the content of that file, right? So here what we need to do is we have to just pass this thing. That's it. So if you want to add a new tool, all you have to do is just add a new method and add that tool. Okay. So now if I just cancel that, clear it, and if I run it again, okay, so just to verify that, what we have to do is we have to create one file. Just simply put note TLC. Okay, and we can simply out anything. Learning again. Okay, just save it. Cool. Now what we can do is we can simply ask some questions regarding notes. Read the file notes.txt and tell me how many characters are in the first word of it. Let's see what it does. Okay, read the file notes and tell me how. So the first word in the file is this much, which contains 20 characters, right? So which is good. Now we can combine two things. Read note the text and then calculate how many words multiplied by 10, right? So let's quickly modify this with LangChain, right? Just save it. Okay, ask this question. Now what we are saying, then calculate how many words multiplied by 10. So basically this task requires, to execute read file method and then calculate as well, right? In this, if you want, we can quickly add, right? The file note contains only one word, which is this one. Therefore, one word multiplied by 10. So what I need to do is I have to first quote it and then I have to run this one more time, right? And then we can ask the solution. We paste share what good. So now it should just call all the three methods, right? Okay, so the content of this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The sentence contains 6 words. Why it is 6, I don't know. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 word multiplied by 10 equals 60. The current time is this, right? So it is actually making a little bit of mistake in reading a file. It seems like it is just using that slash and probably for the next character. But we can just figure that out why it is happening. But the idea here is we can just provide any task, right, which can require to execute multiple tools, and we can easily understand that how this LLM is thinking, reasoning, and just dividing that one task into a small activity, and that activity if that activity requires any kind of tool execution, then it is doing that. Sometimes what would happen is if that tool is not there, then LLM uses its own understanding, right? So for example, if I want to write this and say, please save the result into result.txt. Let's see whether this LLM Queen 3.5 90 can do this or not. Otherwise, if we want to do it, we can simply add another tool here, right? And we can simply say write file, right? And then we can change the logic just to write. And then we can say right. Okay. But here we have to simply change that doc string. As I mentioned, this doc string has to be most important part, right? So here what you have to do is you have to pass the file name as well as data. Right? Cool. Then cool. But I'm still not in instead where no worries about that. Right? So now this is how we can do it, and then we can add this into our tool list. Okay, then come back here and see. Okay, what it is saying, word count is now it's doing right thing. It's just calculating 5 words. It's an interesting thing for me to just figure it out why that has happened for the first time. However, I need to inform you that I don't have access to the file writing tool in my current set of available function. I can only read files, not write to them. The available tools are blah, blah, blah. If you need to save this file, you will need to file writing capability is not currently available to me. Would you like me to help you with other calculation and information instead, right? So now we can write this function and we can just achieve that. So now you can understand how this AI agent is working, right? You can keep adding tools and then your AI agent can do whatever you want it to do, right? So now if you understand, in my opinion, all you need to understand is for what use case you want to write this AI agent, and accordingly you can build your tools, right? I just started with the very simple tools. Now we reach to the point where we can take a one real-time use case, a simple use case, which can be utilized into the real time. And now in the next part, we are going to build a new AI agent, and I will pick a very small use case from the software development life cycle to see if we can write some AI agent through which we can achieve, the autonomous execution of that particular phase, right, in a software development. So I hope that you are enjoying this video, and things are making more clear to you, where AI agent is not that complicated, right? It's a really very powerful concept or the technology which we have received now. All we need is we have to be more innovative and creative so that we can build more and more AI agents to make our life more easier, right? So that's it from my side for this particular video. If you have any feedback or suggestion, you can feel free to just put that into the comment section, right? And thanks for watching this. And as always, stay healthy and keep learning new things.